Am I the a-hole for telling my sister's friends about her lying about being assaulted? I'm a 28-year-old male, and my sister is 17. 3 years ago, my sister accused 3 guys of assaulting her, which never happened. The 3 boys weren't on the mainland when it supposedly happened, and my sister tried to change the dates of when it occurred. All 3 boys had alibis with multiple witnesses. The police closed the case with no charges being brought against the boys. My sister was charged with filing a false police report and lying to the police. She got off with probation and community service. I think she should have been sent to juvie. The 3 boys' families sued our family and won. My parents offered them a settlement for more than they asked for if they signed an NDA. 2 families signed, the other did not. My family decided to move after that. Fast forward 3 years. My dad called me over and said that our pool was having issues and asked if I could come over to check it out. I own a small pool cleaning business with my friends. When I came over, my sister and some of her friends were hanging out. When my sister saw me, she made a joke like, "Oh, we got the poor pool boy to fix the pool," and made more jokes while I was there. I didn't respond. After I found the problem, fixed it, and was getting ready to head out, she said that she hopes she doesn't end up like me, cleaning pools for rich people one day. I responded that she didn't have to worry, because she would probably end up in jail for lying about being assaulted again. All the guys stared at her, and she started to cry. Later, I got a call from my dad, saying that I was an a-hole for saying that in front of her friends. The guys told everyone at school, and now she was scared to go to school. I told him that I didn't care, and that the guys needed to know who they were hanging out with. He told me that it happened 3 years ago, that she was trying to move past it, and that she was sorry. I told him she was sorry because she got caught, and then I hung up. The next day, I got calls from my family saying that I'm an a-hole for what I did. So, Reddit, am I the a-hole for saying that in front of her friends? You're the a-hole. You're a 28-year-old man, and your sister is only 17. She did something terrible 3 years ago and paid the legal price for it. You might not agree with her sentence, but that's what the judge gave her. She made some stupid jokes at your expense, and you chose the nuclear option. You obviously think she should suffer for the rest of her life. Legal price my butt. Community service for almost destroying 3 lives is a joke. There are a lot of people who do this all the time and don't even get in trouble for it. People need to be held accountable for lying about things, especially lying about something that can ruin someone's life. I do think she should have had some therapy to address why she would make up a lie like that though, not the a-hole. Not the a-hole. She fafoed. She could have kept her mouth shut. She could have been polite or even respectful. Instead, she chose verbal violence. She shouldn't complain when that backfires. She chose to belittle you publicly. You just provided some very relevant context about her character. That's not being an a-hole. That's just refusing to be her punching bag. Girls like this never grow out of it. My last ex threatened to tell the school I essayed her if I broke up with her. I caught her cheating, knowing the school would side with her. She even used that threat to force me to sleep with her for months after that, ironically meaning she actually SA'd me. I was 3 months from graduating, and she knew the school would dismiss students even if they were found innocent. When I finally got my paperwork and officially cut her out, she reported my best friend, a woman, for SAing 2 men. She knew nothing would come of it. She just saw an opportunity to embarrass my friend by forcing her to be interrogated by campus security. It's been just over 10 years, and in that time, she's married twice and cheated on both husbands. Clearly, she hasn't changed. Not the a-hole. My younger sister and her family mooched off our parents so badly that our dad told us, if we ever have to sell the house, your sister has bankrupted us. Yes, they sold the house. Her husband is dead by his own hand. She and our mother now live with our oldest sister and her husband. Our son is very close to his uncle and feels sorry for him because he's living in his own home with our mother, our youngest sister, and his wife. Our son bought season tickets and takes his uncle to the college home games. It's his uncle's alma mater and hometown. Our son went over to pick his uncle up to go to the game, and my younger sister started bitching at him. She has absolutely no right to do so, and he snapped back at her. My oldest sister, his aunt, admonished him for speaking like that to the younger sister, also his aunt. Our son told them, "You gonna play with fire? You're gonna get burned." Guarantee she will not try that attitude on him again. Our son said he will not take criticism from a woman who bankrupted his grandfather whom he adored and who never held a job longer than a year. Same for her late husband. If you're going to dish it out, you'd better be able to take it back. Next story. Am I the a-hole for supporting my best friend and telling him to press charges against my son for stalking his daughter? A couple of days ago, my best friend came to me angry. He showed me many pictures of my 22-year-old son messaging his 18-year-old daughter, and it went on for months. She had just turned 18 a few weeks ago. The last thing he sent her was a D-pic, and she finally showed her dad, and he lost it. I apologized and said I had absolutely no clue about it. My son lives hours away now. He told me he wanted to go to the police about this, and I told him absolutely that I'd have done the same. He did, and he reported my son. I still don't really know what's going to happen now, but whatever happens, it's my son's fault. My son tried saying it's not him, but she had taken screenshots and screen recordings, and it's definitely his account. Even the D-pic is his. He has a small tattoo on his hand, and it's there. I'm freaking disappointed and angry at him right now, and I don't want to support him at all in this. I apologized to the girl, and she told me it's not my problem. My wife is upset about this. She's horrified at what he did, and she also apologized to the girl, but she says we shouldn't have involved the police, and that I should support him because he's our son. I asked her if one of her friend's sons did that to one of our 3 girls, if she wouldn't go to the police, and she got quiet. But she's still insisting that I should help him avoid any major trouble, because it'll ruin his future, and I say he ruined it himself. And honestly, my friend is a saint, because if some bastard did that to one of my daughters, I'd have sent him to the hospital, not the police. But am I somehow the a-hole here for not supporting my son at all? Now for the top comments. Not the a-hole at all. Good on you for standing up for what's right. Of course, I have 3 underage daughters of my own. I'd kill if some bastard tried that with either one of them. Not the a-hole. This is the right thing to do. He isn't your baby boy anymore. He's a grown-ass man. Tell your wife that. He willingly made the choice to prey on a teenager. He would do it again if you hadn't done something. This isn't some one-off thing people do. She isn't just some teenager as well. She's my goddaughter. Not that it's okay to do that to anyone, but it's freaking disgusting. Tell your wife you are protecting your son from serious legal harm. If he gets in trouble now for sending harassing texts and a single D-pic, then he might stop his abhorrent behavior. If she protected him, he'd know he could get away with it, and would have escalated and possibly done even worse things to your goddaughter or other women. You did the right thing. My daughter was harassed and threatened by another student when she was in high school, both minors. We filed for and won a protection order in court. Besides filing charges, your friend should go after a protection order immediately. His daughter may be granted an immediate no-contact order while the process plays out through the civil court. My daughter was granted an emergency PO before it was finalized for 2 years. I'm so sorry for your daughter, man. Hope she's doing better now, and screw that bastard. Next story. Am I the a-hole for refusing to go back to my ex, even though she is going to therapy and changed her behavior? I, 42 male, have been with my ex-wife, 41 female, for 22 years, married for 17. We have 2 children, 16 male and 12 female. My ex always had massive anger and trust issues, stemming from abuse she experienced as a child and teenager. Her parents are monsters, and I can attest to this myself. Her mother insulted her frequently, both in private and in public. Since we got married, she has gone no contact with her parents, but her childhood scars never healed. She used me as a punching bag, and I let it happen because I was operating under the idea that if I loved her enough, she would eventually heal. She loves me and I know it, but her version of love is twisted and harmful, and my tolerance has run its course. I suggested she go to therapy several times, but every time I did, she got abusive and told me that I needed therapy, not her. I am already in therapy and have made progress on my own issues, but she continued to refuse, until I finally broke up with her after she insulted me, for maybe the 1,000th time. She knows exactly how to hurt me with insults, silent treatment, and withholding sex. In the past 6 years, we have not been intimate more than 10 times. She is also an expert at gaslighting. Her verbal abuse also extended to the children, though it was less severe. When I broke up with her 8 months ago, she did a complete 180. She started therapy and apologized for everything she did to me and the kids over the years. She can hold a conversation now and takes accountability for her screw-ups. My son has also gone no contact with her, not at my suggestion at all. He lives at my place now. She says the loss of both of us made her see the reality of how arrogant and entitled she was, and that she is a different person now. I am happy in my new place. My nerves are calm, and I can be myself. I am happier and calmer than I ever was in my life. Even though I see the progress she is making, I do not want to go back to her, because I don't want to waste any more of my life with her. She had so many opportunities to choose me over the years we were together, but she refused and insisted on being abusive. So, am I the a-hole for refusing to reunite the family and choosing my own peace of mind instead? Edit. My daughter seems to be really fine. She spends some time with me and some time with her mother, and she is not showing any signs of distress. All her friends have broken up families, so I am guessing that in a sense, she now has drama to talk about with them. Not the a-hole. Everyone has a breaking point. You exceeded yours, and it's more than reasonable to want to move on. You can say something like, "I'm happy you are in therapy and improving, but I'm way past the point of working on things between us. Have a good life. I'm out." Yeah, I said that when she tried to guilt-trap me by saying, "I need you through therapy. I will be vulnerable." I said, "You had me for 17 years. It's too late now." Not the a-hole. 8 months isn't nearly enough time for someone who has refused help for so long to really change. What your ex is likely doing is showing enough change to lure you back in, at which point she'll slowly regress to being just as abusive as before. She needs to keep going to therapy, and I'd advise that if your son ever wants to speak to her again, it be done with the mediation of a therapist, not your ex's. Right, I suspect that she is luring me in. I read a lot about narcissistic behavior, and she seems to exhibit the symptoms. If I go back, this could turn really ugly. As the daughter of a narcissist, your daughter is probably not fine. She likely learned to be a people pleaser as a coping mechanism, so her mom doesn't go after her. That's why she doesn't look distressed. Your wife will most likely try to enmesh herself with her, aka besties. But really, she will use her for her emotional needs. Please get your kids therapy if you haven't already. Kids may be resilient, but their brains are still developing. And there's no way to know what trauma will affect them later. I could be wrong, but you might want to check out r/raised by narcissist. Oh my god, she is doing the bestie thing, yes. Before this, my ex almost completely ignored my daughter, but now she takes her along for almost everything she does. Freaking hell. Please make sure your daughter sees a therapist on a regular basis. Last story. Am I the a-hole to my girlfriend for allowing my ex to stay at mine and for driving her 7 hours to her parents' home? I, 23 male, broke up with my ex, 25 female 2 years ago, and I've been with my current girlfriend, 27 female, for over a year now. I was out with some lads and saw my ex with her new boyfriend. He was shoving her and called her a slag and other things. I went over, broke it up, and took her back to mine. I live with 3 mates, so I wasn't alone with her. I let her sleep in my bed, and I slept on the couch. I did tell my girlfriend, and she didn't really react. My ex is a mess. Her whole life is a mess, not just her relationship. I told her I was taking her home to her parents. She didn't really argue. It was a 7-hour journey. Her dad thanked me, and he took me out for a meal to chat. He handed me a couple of $100 for doing what I did. He said maybe get a hotel and don't do the full 7 hours back that evening. I did get a hotel. When I came back, my girlfriend, in front of my mates and hers, asked why I felt the need to help her. She said she's not my responsibility. I said if it were one of my sisters, I'd want their ex to do it. She was really angry and asked if I cheated. I said no. She said, "How can I believe you?" I said, "Let's talk about it later in private." She kept talking, saying, "Why break up with her if you were just going to run back to her?" One of my mates spoke up and said that I'd slept on the couch. She said men will stick together. She asked me what I would think if she went on a romantic trip with her ex. I said it wasn't a romantic trip and that it would be sick if she hooked up her vulnerable ex. She stormed out, saying I had accused her of being a predator. She hasn't spoken to me in a couple of days since. Was I the a-hole for how I helped my ex? Her parents have a lot on, which is why I drove her up rather than expecting them to come down. A user told me to add that her father was very good to me as a kid. He looked out for me, let me tag along to jobs and stuff like that. Getting her out of immediate danger was a good thing, but maybe doing the 7-hour drive the next day was a little extra. I don't think you're an a-hole, but I do think you could have thought this through more before being so thorough in your rescuing. That's a fair point. I probably went overboard. You also didn't communicate with your partner. You told her you were driving her home, but not that it was 7 hours. Did you communicate that you were staying overnight and why? Did you offer for her to go on a trip or invite her over the night things went down? Or think about your partner really in any way, besides calling her to tell her your ex was staying over, and then again to tell her you were taking your ex home? You did a great thing, but it sounds like you were a pretty crappy partner while doing it. Good on you, though, for helping someone who needed help. I contacted her when I got home with my ex. I said my mates were there too. What I did was WhatsApp her a video of me explaining it. It was late, and I thought she might be asleep. She wasn't. She called me. I said I was staying on the couch. She didn't say fine or that she had a problem with it. I also said the next morning I was going to take her home. She said fine to that, but she wasn't aware it was 7 hours until I came back. In hindsight, I probably should have dropped her at a friend's place. I didn't trust her to go home herself, and her father has a lot going on family-wise, so I thought he had enough to deal with rather than driving down and back up. She needed to go home in my opinion, because she's been spiraling for months. I probably did take too much responsibility. If you're telling the truth and this was my daughter, I would be delighted you kept her safe. However, if I were the mother of your girlfriend and you didn't ring from the hotel and give an update, I would tell her to run. And if you can't see that's where you messed up, you have a lot of growing up to do. Part of being in a successful relationship is communication. You failed dismally there with your girlfriend. That's probably the best read of the situation. I did call her a few times.